Very warm good morning to all of you. So today I'm going to discuss few strategies for the prelims, and also I'm going to give you a 80 days revision plan, and also how to go for the polity in this week. So probably we have around like 7 to 8 weeks left before exam is conducted. If the exam if will be conducted on 4th of October. I have a doubt about it, okay, whether the exam will be conducted on the 4th of October or not, but still we need to prepare as per the what you can say the current date of the UPSC. So but again we have almost around what you can say the 7 to 8 weeks left. So within the 7 to 8 weeks I would suggest you to go for what you can say that 1 week for each topic, right? So if you can see that in general studies paper 1 there are total 7 topics in paper 1. So if you give one week for all the topics, and if you revise thoroughly in this 1 week, then you can be able to what you can say cover the syllabus. And again I'm saying this session will be more useful for those what you can say candidates or those students who have already prepared, like who are preparing for this exam for last what you can say like 1.5 years or maybe like 2 years. So what I'm will be helping you, that I'm not going to teach you as such, I'm just giving you, I will be just giving you a revision plan, and I will be giving you the expected topics and the topics on which repeatedly the questions is being asked by the UPSC. So 6 days we will revise, and at the end of the 6th day we will have a one comprehensive test. So that comprehensive test will be based on one particular subject. Like in this week I am going to give you a polity revision target. So on Sunday there will be a test on polity, and that test will be as per the standard of the UPSC, because we have seen the trend in the UPSC questions is very what you can say different than the other what you can say the test series. So I will be framing around 50 questions from polity as per the recent trends of the UPSC exam, especially from 2017, 18, 19 trends. And at the end of the week you will be what you can say giving a test, right? So every day I will be giving you some target, like every day I will be giving you some topics which you need to revise. And again second day I will be having a review on that. And if you have any doubts in the revision, like where you are revising some topics, if you have any doubts in the revision topics, then you can ask me a doubt in the next session. And again tomorrow I will be giving you a new target for that day, right? So in this way we will try to what we can say revise the whole topic within what we can say the 6 days. That 6 days will be a revision for you, and 7th day will be a test for you. Fine. So likewise 7 weeks we will be doing, like every week we will be having one topic. So this week I am going to give you a polity revision task. Next week probably I will be giving you your economics or maybe like history, depending upon like your suggestion that what we should go for. So we can go for what you can say the probably history or maybe economics, but this week I'm giving you a polity what you can say the revision target. Fine. So how we are going to like carry on. First day we will be discussing the questions of the UPSC, like how the questions were asked in that particular topic in the previous year. First we will analyze the questions, and after analyzing the questions what will we do, like we will be what you can say revising as per the recent trend in the exam, right? So we are not going to read each and every what you can say the topic of the subject, like because it is going to be an intensive preparation. It is going to be a very selective preparation. It is going to be very intensive, only like considering the prelims questions and considering the type of questions which are being asked in the preliminary examination. So that is why I would like whatever I'm going to discuss with you in today's exam, that will be only useful for the 4th October 2020 prelims exam. Is that clear to all of you? Any doubts about it? Okay. So already I have shared some, yeah. So already I have shared some document yesterday. So I will open this document to you. That how what you can say that will be helpful for you in focus preparation. So 1 second. Okay. So this is going to be what you can say. This is going to be a plan for UPSC. I'm just giving you a plan. That is how what should be your strategy for the prelims exam. And as we all know that in every subject there are two what you can say the variants when the UPSC is asking the question. One is from the static part and one is from the polity part. So even in polity, that majority of the questions, although are from what you can say the static part, that is from the theoretical part, but few questions, like maybe around like 4 to 5 questions, are from the dynamic part or from the current issues as well. So polity is an important topic at all 3 stages of exam, that is prelims or mains or interview. the significance of this project or subject is carried forward even when you get into service. Because when you enter into the service, we know that whatever you are going to do, that is, you are going to govern the country, you are going to become civil servants, and you have to govern as per what we can say the constitutional values and as per the provisions of the Constitution of India. So everything about constitution, that is individuals' rights, duties and responsibilities to the structure, power, functions and the responsibilities of various institutions of administration. So as a UPSC aspirant, what you are expected, like if you go through the previous year questions, you can see that the questions which are being asked by the UPSC is that the questions related to the individual rights of the citizens of India, the duties of the citizens of India, at the same time responsibilities of the government, responsibilities and the powers and the functions and various what you can say institution which make sure that the rights of the individuals and what you can say the duties of the individuals as well as the responsibilities of the responsibilities of the government or the state are carried in a smooth way. So that is what is expected. So there is around like 14 to 15 questions every year UPSC asks. Again, the number of questions varies. There is no any strict formula this much is going to be asked asking the question, but normally we know that on an average around 14 to 15 questions are being asked in polity. Out of that 14-15 questions, 10 questions are from the static part and 5 questions are from what you can say the current issues. So it also discusses about various policies of the government, right-based issues of the vulnerable groups. The questions are related to what you can say the policies of the government as well as the right-based issues of the vulnerable groups in India. So the issues of the vulnerable groups, like what you can say the issues of the vulnerable groups like physically handicapped, then poor, then what you can say the SC, ST, then marginalized sections like women, transgenders, right? So the questions are related to these topics. So one has to abreast with the local happenings in and around you, a sense of awareness created in the mind of the common man about one's rights, duties, responsibilities will help you, him or her, to take an informed decision. So it also helps in holding the government accountable for what you can say failing to serve its people. So that is what is an aware person is what you can say required. So what UPSC expect that a candidate must be aware about what you can say the political situation in India as well as the political rights of the India and what initiatives are taken by the government to take the initiative, right? So this what makes polity interesting and enjoyable, and we know that majority of the people while preparing for UPSC exam or while preparing for the civil services exam, they enjoy polity a lot and they study polity a lot. This is again one of the important disadvantages because what happens when you study a subject into detail and when you study a subject what you can say into what you can say the depth, then it becomes a problem for UPSC exam, because when you study too much there are more chances of getting it wrong in the exam. Because it's my personal experience and as well as it is an experience of majority of the candidates who have qualified in the exam that the subject which you prepare more, you get more wrong answers at the exam. So that is what we need to what we can say take care of. Like polity is one such subject, although it looks very easy in what you can say the beginning or while preparing or while following the questions, but in exam hall candidates make many silly mistakes with respect to polity. Although they feel ki I have attempted a correct answer in the exam, but they make a mistake. So this is what you need to remember, that in polity, you need to be very, very careful while attempting the questions, right? So you can say that on an average 15 to 18%, what you can say the questions are asked from the polity, like out of 100 questions, around 15 to what you can say 18 questions are from the polity. So now you need to know that ki, so one must know the basics of judiciary. Then here you can see that questions from polity cover both static, that is basic, as well as the dynamic current events. For example, in 2014, judicial appointment bill was in news very frequently, and that is why the question has been asked related to how the judges of the Supreme Court of India are elected, right? So whatever the provisions of the Constitution of India, because when we read the whole Constitution of India, if there is any provision related to the Constitution of India is in controversy or which was in debate, or a new bill is being introduced into the Parliament of India to make the amendment in the existing law, or a new law is what you can say is created. So the basic questions can be asked related to that particular topic, as well as the current issues can be asked. So one must know the basics of judiciary. Like for example, when this was in news, that is judicial bill appointment was in news recently. So what was expected from you? That so one must know the basics of judiciary, its mode of appointment, how the judges are appointed, what are the powers of the judges, and its autonomy granted by the Constitution of India. So issue related to judiciary autonomy comes under the dynamic part, whereas the mode of the appointment and powers judiciary comes under the static part. So this in this way you can segregate that which can be called as a dynamic part and which can be called as the static part. So appointment, powers, all these are the parts of the static part, while the issues which were going on in the news related to the judicial appointment, that can be called as what we can say the dynamic part, because when the judgment was given at the in that year by the Supreme Court, it said that the judiciary autonomy is what we can say the basic structure of the Constitution of India. That is why Judicial Appointment Commission, which was created by the Parliament of India, was rejected by the what you can say by the Supreme Court. So when you read all these things, you need to know what you need to know: how the judges are appointment, what is judiciary autonomy, you need to know what is judicial review, because as per the judicial review, the Supreme Court of India has rejected the what you can say has rejected the Judicial Appointment Commission. So all these aspects of that particular issue, you need to know that. Fine. So this is the best way to go about reading polity. If you can read this way, the many myths about the polity, like mugging up all the articles. Like many students asked me a question while preparing for UPSC in the beginning, sir, how to remember the article numbers and how to remember all what you can say the facts of the Constitution of India. It is not required, because we will go through some of the questions of the UPSC exam, that you don't need to mug up the number of articles, you don't need to mug up what you can say the all the facts of the polity or all the facts of the Indian Constitution, because UPSC in last 4-5 years they are not asking any factual questions. So we will discuss few questions now here, that how the questions related to that Judicial Appointment Commission was asked in the 2014 exam, right? So am I audible to all of you? Are you all there?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
So we will see few questions, that how the questions have been asked from the polity. I hope all of you have already studied polity. So it is just an idea that how to revise, like what to focus on while revising for the polity, that I'm focusing on, right? So for the first question of 2014, which says that the power to increase the number of judges in Supreme Court of India is vested in. So what the question has asked, that who can increase the number of the judges in the Supreme Court of India? That was the question. So options were the President of India, the Parliament, the Chief Justice of India, and the Law Commission. So all of you know that options were pretty, what you can say, like confusing here. Like although the questions seems very, what you can say, easy, but the options are very confusing here, because we know that the judges of the Supreme Court of India are appointed by the President of India. Then majority of the students may confuse that since the President of India, the judges of the Supreme Court of India are appointed by the President of India, so they might think that what you can say the President might be, what you can say, decrease the number of or increase the number of the judges in Supreme Court of India. The Parliament is also there, the Chief Justice of India is also there, the Law Commission is there. Here the answer is the Parliament, right? So we need to know that when the question, like whatever the topics is in the news, you need to know what is the powers, what is the mode of appointment, how it is done, and what are the issues that we need to know about it. Fine. So what you need to do here now, that you have to list down some of the topics which were there in the news in the last, what you can say, 1 and 2 years, right? So I will be giving you the topics which were in the news, like there are around 10 to 15 topics which were in the news. So you have to, what we can say, focus more on that. First, you have to study the static part, but after you've done with the static part, you need to focus more on those topics or those provisions of the Constitution of India which were in the news. Got it? Any doubts about it? Ye clear ho gaya? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. चलिए, then going to the next point, that the power of the Supreme Court of India, disputes between the center and the state falls under its. So you know the Supreme Court of India's power, like whether the dispute between the center and the state government, which comes under the advisory jurisdiction, appellate jurisdiction, or original jurisdiction, or root jurisdiction. So here you can see, here the first question was related to appointment of the judges. Second question was related to, what you can say, the powers of the Supreme Court of India. So the dispute between the center and states comes under the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court of India. Got it? So see, in that year, 2 questions have been asked related to, what you can say, the judiciary. So the topic which was more in the news, the questions are asked most related to that particular topic. Like 2-3 questions are from that particular issue which was there in the news, right? So in for now, one more thing. Similarly, you can see in 2012, the Comptroller and Auditor General was in news in 2012, because we know that in 2012 many scams of the government like 2G spectrum scam, or what you can say the Colgate. So all these scams were there, and CAG played a very, very important role in exposing these scams. So when CAG was in news, so the questions related to CAG was asked in 2012. So how the questions are being framed, you can see that in India, other than ensuring that public funds are used efficiently for intended purpose, what is the importance of the Office of the Comptroller and Auditor General of India? So your questions was related to CAG in 2012. So all of you know that the CAG does audit of the what you can say the public funds, whether it is being efficiently used or not, and whether it is being used for the intended purpose or not. But the question was that what is the importance of the, apart from that, what is the importance of the Comptroller and Auditor General of India? That was the question. So first option, that is CAG exercises exchequer control on behalf of Parliament when the President of India declares national emergency and financial emergency. Second, CAG reports on execution of the projects or programs by ministries are discussed by the Public Accounts Committee. Third, information from the CAG reports can be used by investigating agencies to press charges against those who have violated the law of the managing public finances. Fourth option, while dealing with the audit and accounting of the government companies, CAG has certain judicial powers for prosecuting those who violate the law. So while four these options have been given, or the statements have given, you need to know which of the statements are correct. Now, when the CAG was in the news, the question was asked related to CAG. So what you are supposed to do, that whatever the constitutional post, whatever the constitutional bodies, or whichever what you can say the provisions of the Constitution of India, which was in the news in the last 1 and 2 years, you need to what you can say start it. Fine. So that is what is explained here, right? So just give me 1 minute. There are some messages I'm getting from the students, like they are not able to join it. So just I'll speak with them. So just give me 2 minutes. Yasmin, did you join?
Yes, sir.
Yasmin, the class has been started already. Fine. Chali. So you are a bit late now, but anyways, you can see I have started recording, but you can see it afterwards. So got this, how the questions are asked. Answer, what is answer, that doesn't important, it is not important here. It is that how the questions are being framed, that is very important. So here the answer is C, that is 2 and 3 only. 2 and 3. So that is what is explained here. Then going to the next question. So there was one more example that how the questions are asked from the current affairs. The National Green Tribunal Act 2010 was enacted in consonance with which of the following provisions of the Constitution of India, right? So we have already discussed about the National Green Tribunal Act when we were discussing the institutions in the what you can say in the environment, right? So National Green Tribunal Act 2010 was enacted in consonance with which of the following provisions of the Constitution of India. Now I will tell you one thing, that recently I was what you can say having an interaction with one of the UPSC question paper setter, right? All of you need to understand it very clearly, all of you. He was saying that now UPSC has an approach of what you can say framing questions linking with 3 other subjects, like 3 what you can say the different subject. Like when UPSC is asking questions from polity, it will not ask questions only related to polity. What it will ask, it will link that questions with polity, environment and economy, right? And he was saying that the UPSC has a very clear-cut agenda of destroying the coaching classes which are running in India, right? So that is why they are making sure that the type of questions which are being framed by the coaching classes, and you can see the difference between the questions which are being framed by what you can say the UPSC, what you can say the exam, right? You can easily see that the people who frame the questions of UPSC, they are extremely what you can say the talented people. They're extremely what you can say the scholar people. They know it very well, what you can say how to frame the question, that it should not be too much difficult or it should not be too much easy. So they test the what you can say the broader understanding of the candidates. Like so here in this question we can see the question is related to polity, but here you can see they have included the environmental issues, right? So whenever environmental what you can say the institutions are created, when what you can say pollution control board are created, or whatever the board are created, at that time they try to link it with what you can say the polity, they try to link it with economy, they try to link it with what you can say the history, right? So do you remember that I was discussing the environmental topics, I was asking you that which provision of the constitution, what you can say, is related to with this particular, what you can say, the initiative which has been started by the government of India. All of you remember, I always ask a question that, well, for example, suppose if I'm explaining you the economy,
Yes, sir. Yes.
while I'm explaining
Yes, sir.
economic
Sir.
points, I will ask you that according to which
Sir.
provisions of the constitution. Yes, Chandrasekhar.
Sir, topic easy, sir. But no, the framing will be,
Yeah.
it makes to be difficult.
Right, it's not difficult actually. If you have a broader understanding, if you know what you can say, basics of all the subject you can. So here, this is the best example that how the UPSC is trying to frame the questions. Now he told me, the question paper setters told me that what happened, the UPSCs will be framing the questions which will, what you can say, have 3 different subjects into one question. So earlier what used to happen, UPSC used to ask question like one question from one particular topic, but nowadays, like even this year also, that trend is to be there. What they will do, like they will frame a question, like the questions will not be exclusively from polity, or it will not be exclusively from what you can say the history. It will be like, it will be it looks like it is a polity question, but you can see there will be an angle of what you can say the polity as well as the environment, and as well as what you can say the sociology to it. Fine. So that you need to understand now. So rather than what you can say going for too much detail, what you can say the revision, what you need to know the basics, and you should be able to link it with other topic. That is what is expected, right? So this is a fine example. We will discuss these questions about the National Green Tribunal. So here, see, the National Green Tribunal is an environmental topic, but they have linked with polity. So what is question that? The National Green Tribunal Act 2010 was enacted in consonance with which of the following provisions of the Constitution of India? So option 1, right to healthy environment, constituted as a part of the right to life under Article 21. So do you think that National Green Tribunal Act is created under the right to healthy environment, which can be, what you can say, constituted as a part of the right to life of Article 21? You can say yes.
Yes, sir.
Right. Second.
Yes, sir.
So provisions of the, and now what happens now while we're preparing, like what mistakes we make while preparing for UPSC. Now what we do, like we study too much detail of National Green Tribunal Act. We discuss too much detail of Article 21. We discuss too much detail of what you can say the other provisions, but we never try to link one particular topic with other topical. Have you ever thought that can we link Article 21, that to Article 21 can be related with the National Green Tribunal Act? You will never expect that, and you can never, no any class can expect such type of questions can be framed by UPSC. But when you enter into the exam hall, you know the basics of National Green Tribunal Act, you know what is Article 21. You have to take a decision in the exam whether this, what you can say, the statement is correct or not. And I'm very sure those who have, what you can say, studied the basics of polity and environment, they know that Article 1 is the correct statement. Am I right? Second statement, the provisions,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
of the grants for raising the level of administration in scheduled areas for the welfare of the scheduled tribes under Article 275(1). Now here you can see the provisions of grants for raising the levels of administration in scheduled areas for the welfare of the scheduled tribes under the Article 271(1). Okay, so we are not sure about it, right? So we are sure about first, but we are not sure about second statement. Third statement, powers and the functions of the Gram Sabha as mentioned in Article 243A. So do you think the powers of the Gram Sabha under Article 243? Here, see, here the topic is Panchayati Raj. You can see the topic is Panchayati Raj. Here the topic is fundamental rights. Here the topic is, what you can say, the rights of the scheduled tribes in India. Right. So I have included all these topics in what you can say the revision plan. Like, we will go through the revision plans. That why I have included all these topics, because the questions are being asked, what you can say, what you can see in last 2-3 years, most of the questions are being asked from this particular area. Got it? So what do you think? What should be the answer of this question?
One only.
One only, right? So that is what is explained, right? Because National Green Tribunal Act, you have to just check it out. Powers and functions of Gram Sabha is mentioned in the Article 243A. So do you think that the National Green Tribunal Act is created as per the what you can say the Panchayati Raj institutions, or as per the, what you can say, right to healthy environment? So that is what is expected here, right? So to conclude, I can say that polity is the easiest of all the subject to score. Many students, what you can say, they rely more on the polity. That many students prepare a lot about the polity, but I'm very sure when you attend the exam, that majority of the questions which you get it wrong, that is in polity. Because what happens when you study more, you, what you can say, you have a temptation of attempting more questions of that particular topic, right? When you study one subject, what you can say, deep and in, what you can say, detail, then in exam you try to attempt maximum questions of that particular topic, and that, what you can say, that leads to what you can say, that leads to more what you can say the negatives in the exam. So polity is the easiest of all the subject to score because of the following reason. One is the syllabus is concise and factual, that it's a very what you can say the concise topic. Then second is straightforward questions are asked most of the time, but nowadays straightforward questions are not asked. Nowadays what you can say the questions are linked with the other topics, and if you have revised the polity thoroughly, then you can get most of the answers right, if not 100% accuracy. It means that suppose if there are 15 questions are there in the exam, out of the 15 questions you may be easily get, if you revise thoroughly, you will get around 12 to 13 questions correct. Got it? So always remember that you cannot get 100% questions correct in any topic. कोई भी सब्जेक्ट अगर है उसमें अगर आप बहुत अच्छे से भी अगर प्रिपरेशन करके जाते हो तो एग्जाम में you cannot get 100% mark. That you need to remember in exam, right? So suppose if you feel that there are 1 or 2 questions, or like maybe 3 or 4 questions related to one particular topic, if you are not getting the answer of that question, it's what you can say wise to skip that question. Got it? So this is important. Like although 18 questions were asked in previous exam, so you are not supposed to attempt all 18 questions. Like if you are very sure that you are going to correct, you are going to get a correct answer, then you should attempt all 18 questions. Otherwise, it's wise to what you can say attempt around 15 questions. So I'm saying that even topper also cannot solve all 100 questions. Got it? And because it's humanly impossible to remember each and everything of that particular topic, so that is what is important here. So the questions are generally easy to moderate. They are not too much difficult questions. Not many books to read. That is a best part of this polity. Like because you might have seen that in other subjects you have to read many what you can say the reference books. But in polity there are only 2-3 books which you need to read. One is Constitution at Work, which will give you a basic idea. And I'm seeing that in last 2-3 years, maximum questions can be solved by reading Constitution at Work. 11th standard NCERT. Second is Lakshmikant. Again, Lakshmikant is again one of the most popular book in the polity. But again, seeing that in last 2-3 years, some questions cannot be solved only reading Lakshmikant. You need to have some what against the extra material, and that what extra material that I'm going to suggest you today. Apart from Lakshmikant, yes, Lakshmikant is good for the static preparation, but dynamic questions as well as some of the what you can say out of the box questions which UPSC is asking in last 2-3 years. Like you will see few examples of those out of the box questions. You cannot solve it by only reading Lakshmikant. Right? Yes, of course, majority of the questions can be solved by reading Lakshmikant, but that is not enough. Second, however, the questions at times are tricky. As Chandrasekhar was saying, that questions are easy, but they are tricky. That is very important. So as the options given in the questions are very close to the correct choice, this creates ambiguity in the mind of the aspirant, often leaving them confused. Many candidates make silly mistakes in the exam in polity despite some good study. So that is very important. Like, so you should avoid making silly mistakes in polity. And I'm telling you, you make silly mistakes in the subjects which you have what you can say prepared a lot. Got it? So this is all about the strategy for this. So I'm going to discuss with you what you can say, I'm discuss with you few questions of the previous year exam. Then I will also giving you the study plan for this what you can say this way, right? So any doubts about it? Clear? How, what is the what you can say, why polity is important, and how the questions are being asked from the dynamic part, how the questions are being asked from the static part, that I will discuss with you in the next session, right? Any doubts? I guess we have left with 6 minutes. So in the next session, I will be giving you the study plan for this week, and I will be also discussing few questions of the previous year so that you can get an idea that how to revise for the polity. So using the 6 minutes, if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Yes, any doubts for you?
Sir, you talked about 2 sources, that is NCERT and Lakshmikant, but you did not mention the third source, sir.
Yeah, I will discuss.
What is the third source
I will
we
discuss
can
with you in the
go
next
for?
plan. In the next plan, I will be giving you an important source, like which I have found, which is relevant to the what you can say the recent exam of what you can say the UPSC or recent trends in the UPSC. Right. So one is that you have to revise NCERT. Like if you already read the NCERT, that 11th standard NCERT, I hope that you can read it one day. It's not a very what you can say the bulky book. You can revise the whole 11th standard NCERT in one day if you have already read that book. If you have not read it, obviously it will take a time. But if you have already read that book, you can revise that NCERT within one day. And Lakshmikant also you don't need to read like it's all what you can say the parts of the Lakshmikant, right? Lakshmikant is a very bulky book, right? So it is around maybe like around 700 to 800 pages, right? Am I right? Because I haven't seen it, but I have just seen with some of the candidates, because I never read Lakshmikant for UPSC. In spite of not reading Lakshmikant, like I was able to, what you can say, I was able to solve like more than, what you can say, like 80 to 90% of the questions from the polity. I have read that 11th standard NCERT. Apart from this, I have read Constitution of India, original Constitution of India, which is written by PM Bakshi. Actually, it is not written by PM Bakshi, but it is authored by the PM Bakshi, original constitution that you need to do for what you can say, for reading the original what you can say, the original provisions of the Constitution of India. Second is about third source, important source is that is there is one website which I have found, which is very, what you can say, interesting. They are giving very, in brief, they are giving very important information, that is about Jagran Josh. So I have give the relevant links. You don't need to read all the points of the Jagran Josh, but which points of the Jagran Josh you need to read it out. I have, what you can say, give the link of those, what you can say, the Jagran Josh articles which you need to read for this particular, right. It's a very briefly they have given information, which is again linked with the dynamics, current linked with what is the current event they have given it, so that you need to see it out. Fine, Kunal?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And any strategy to remember the articles, sir? Because
No need of remembering the articles, Kunal. Like as I told you,
we forget.
UPSC do not ask the article numbers. UPSC do not ask article numbers. No need of, what you can say, remembering the article numbers, or no need of, what you can say, no need of remembering the articles. If there is no need, and there obviously there should not be any strategy to remember it. Fine. Hello, yes, Pramod.
Okay, sir.
Yes, Kunal. Sorry. Yes, Kunal. So is it clear to you?
Sir, my question is resolved, sir. Yes, sir. Very much. Thank you.
Okay, fine. So because we will see some questions from the UPSC for last 2-3 years. We will see that key, not a single questions in UPSC 2-3 years where they have asked about the article number. They have not asked about the article number. Yes, but there are certain articles which you need to, what you can say, you need to know the numbers of that article. You need to know about it. Not like some important articles like Article 368, and Article 370, Article 12, Article 32, like Article, what you can say, the 54. These are the, what you can say, important articles which you need to remember. And anyhow, when you study that, those articles you can automatically, what you can say, remember it. You don't need to memorize it. Fine. Yes, Gautam, you can ask me a question.
Sir,
Yes.
so not Gautam Smriti here.
Okay, awesome.
I joined from my brother's account.
Okay, no problem. No
Sir,
problem.
so basically, if the questions are asked from 3 different subjects and merging them into one, therefore, looking into one subject matter can give us the idea of the 3 others. So we don't need to look for into the subject by 3 different perspectives, 3 different insights of the 3 subjects, right?
Yeah, but you need to prepare all 3 subjects to get the answer of this question, right?
Yeah.
Fine.
That would, okay.
Yeah. Chaliye. So I will end this session now. You can join by using the same link again. So I will be giving you a revision plan for this week, and we will be discussing a few questions of the 2017, 18 and 19 exams. Fine. So I'm ending the session now. Please join again by the same link.
Okay.